Welcome back, Lotus lovers. So I'm at High Tech Motor Cars to test drive the Emira. And I've driven Elises and Evoras before, but I'm pretty excited to get to drive what's going to be the last internal combustion engine Lotus ever made, which is kind of unfortunate. Now, first impressions on the car is it's very Evora GT-like, which is a really good thing. When I test drove the Evora GT a couple of years ago, I was super impressed with it. They really improved things over earlier Evora models. Now, they keep telling me I shouldn't be comparing the Emira to the Evora GT because supposedly it's a completely different car, but you just can't really help it. They are very similar. I mean, really, when I was driving it, it just felt like an Evora GT. And I want to reiterate, that is a very good thing. The interior is quite nice. It's covered with Alcantara everywhere. Everything's nice and soft touch. In recent years, Lotus has really learned how to pull together an interior. I thought the seats were quite comfortable and held you well, and plus there's tons of legroom. I'm 6'3" and had to shift the seat up, almost kind of in the middle. I don't know who was driving it before me, but they must have been like 7 feet tall or something. Now, of course, that extra legroom comes at an expense. The rear parcel shelf is a lot smaller than the Evora's quote-unquote rear seats. You can really just barely fit like a backpack back there. So it's great if you're like a basketball player or something, but for most people, I think it's kind of a waste of space. I'd rather have more cargo room behind the seats. Now, the shifter is fantastic, and it feels great compared to earlier Evoras. And apparently, it's the exact same shifter that's on the Evora GT. And that exposed mechanism is just really cool. As far as noise and harshness goes, it's not a quiet car, but it's not really a loud one either. I would say it's definitely spouse friendly. It's a little subdued on startup though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The engine noises are very subdued in touring mode, but when you flip it over into sport mode, you get to hear a little bit more of the supercharger and exhaust. It kicks it up in a little notch. So enough yakking, let's see how this thing drives. This hilarious little, you have to lift up the little thing to turn it on and off. I will say I was a little disappointed on the drive. I was able to drive the Evora GT a little bit more in a better setting and pushing it a little bit more to its limits. I would have liked to have done that with the Emira as well, but the fellow from Lotus was pretty adamant about a very specific route to take, and he was a little bit nervous too, so, you know, it is what it is. This is okay. Where's the
e-brake is right there, but it'll go off once you start driving.
E-brake goes off automatically once you start driving.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
All right. Well, let's give it a try. Ah, I stalled it. That's embarrassing.
That's all right. It happens.
Oh, the steering wheel.
You can change it.
Okay, yeah.
You can bring it up.
Where's
It's in the middle.
Oh, it's a little lever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Does it come out? Oh yeah, telescoping too. All right, very good. Okay, that's better. That's definitely better.
So this car is in tour mode right now.
Yeah, it seems, I mean, pretty smooth. In touring mode, you said?
Tour
Okay.
mode. Right? We'll shift it after you get on the way back.
Okay.
Into sports mode.
Gotcha.
But there's a track mode too, but it takes everything off, like the stability and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need that for the test drive, so yeah.
I'm not letting anybody do that on the test drives.
Well, I mean, I guess just tell me a little bit about the car. Like you were saying earlier, it's on the sport suspension.
It is on the sport suspension.
Which you said is like
it's a 10% variation between the touring and the sport suspension. So
okay.
It's tighter. It has the cup tubes, so you can feel the road, the car a little bit more.
Okay.
It's still comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's comfortable so far. Get on the highway?
Yes, please.
Now, I forget how fast these things like rev up. Like whenever you free rev up. Yeah, actually the Evora S and like the Evora 400, they have like the same characteristic. Like whenever you pull up the throttle, they rev up like real quick.
Yeah, so when we were building this car, they didn't want to compromise any of the integrity that makes a Lotus a Lotus.
Right.
But still make it a daily driver as well.
Right, yeah. So that's the only corner we're gonna have here, huh?
Say that again.
Oh yeah, it hooks up real nice.
Yeah.
You know what? The shifter on this thing is pretty tight. It's actually
It's very precise.
the other.
That's police.
Yeah, it is. We'll calm down around the sheriff a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's a little bit tighter, I think, than like some of the other Avoras.
No, it's a little bit higher. It's the same, but it sits up a little bit higher.
Okay, yeah.
That's the only difference.
Right.
Are you planning on taking this car to the track or?
Oh, definitely. I always track all my cars.
Okay.
Like, you don't really learn anything about the car until you track it, you know?
Okay. So we're gonna change the modes now
Okay.
to sport. So this was in touring.
Right.
Now it's on sport mode now. So it opens up the powertrain and the exhaust. a
Okay,
bit more.
cool.
So now it sounds different. It's louder, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I can already hear a little bit of a difference. And also, I feel like the throttle is a little bit sharper, too.
Yep.
Oh, it gets a little bit of a burble. A little bit of an overrun.
Supercharged, yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely hear the exhaust a little bit better in like the sport mode. That's nice.
Well, it's up.
It gets up and moves.
And you don't lose any of like it's so linear, like you don't lose any of it just keeps hauling you.
Right, yeah, like,
You gotta get all the,
yeah, I'll get for this guy.
okay. You're gonna go crazy here, aren't you? That's not kill me.
Not bad, not bad. I mean, you can feel the way the suspension loads up and everything. And
Yeah, it hugs the road.
it still stays like pretty flat, too. Yeah, that was like butter, man. It wasn't anything.
We were going 80 plus.
Yeah, it was like about 85 or something like that. No big deal. I do that in my Fiat. So. Yeah, man, this is great. I mean, it's like the noise and stuff in here, like the vibration, harshness type stuff. Like I guess it's comparable to like an Evora GT.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I like it a lot. I mean, it's driving it. Honestly, it feels just like an Evora GT. That's kind of like what it feels like to me. Like I said, unfortunately, the Evora GT that I drove was an automatic, so I don't know how the shifter is in the Evora GT, but
Same.
it's the same.
Same
Okay,
feel.
yeah. I mean, compared to like the Evora S I've driven, like the Evora 400, this is tighter. Like this shifter is definitely like it's tighter and smoother
Okay.
than the previous Evora editions. You
That's
know,
good.
so yeah. I mean, I like it a lot. You know, the only other thing I was kind of noticing is that like the little parcel shelf like
Yes.
back here.
Yes.
It seems a lot smaller than the Evora, right?
Yeah, because that's what gives you the more room, and that's what allows us to put the
okay.
seats. And
Yeah.
so this car is a bit longer and wider than the Evora. Not by
Okay.
much, but it is.
Oh, it is a bit longer. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and wider.
Wow.
Yeah.
It does feel slightly wider, but not that much.
Yeah. Like I said, we did everything to make sure that this is very much an everyday drivable car, and it's an everyday drive car.
Right. Yeah. There's a huge difference in like the pedals, I would say, between like the earlier Evoras and like this.
The
Like
GT is similar to this.
Yeah, the GT is basically
Yeah.
similar to this one,
Yeah.
but like the Evora S and like even the Evora 400, like the pedals are a lot more squished in.
Mhm.
This is a little bit better.
Yep.
This is a little bit better, like, you know, my cowboy boots and stuff. So it looks a lot better to me than the Evora did. You know, I like the way the Emira looks better.
Right.
So, it's an Evora GT with better looks to me. That's kind of how I feel
But
about
this
the
is
car.
on a completely different chassis. And
It
everything.
is,
Yeah,
really?
it's its own
Yeah.
chassis. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got a backup camera?
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Man, having the backup camera is so nice, especially with these mid-engine cars.
It's very clear.
All right, cool. And like the parking brake is just a button, right?
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh,
It'll
pull-
blink. Yep.
Pull up on it.
It'll blink, and once
I see.
we're good.
Cool. All right, man.